jumps on, we'll either get him up to speed or we can have Joe vote on this one as well. So, all right. So the first item on our agenda is a new hearing for 4 Lucy Road, and I'll just read it into the record. The petition of Steve Morrison for property located at 4 Lucy Road, Burlington, Mass. 01803, is shown on the Burlington Assessors Record as the following map and parcel reference 7-145-0. The applicant is seeking a variance pursuant to Article 5, Section 5.2.0, to add a second level addition with a 1-car garage. The proposed addition is to be 9 feet at the left side of the house, and the Burlington zoning bylaw requires 15 feet. Documentation in support of this proposal is available for public inspection, as shown on plans filed with the Zoning Board of Appeals, a copy of which is on file with the Town Clerk's Office, and on the Board of Appeals website, application number 2020-10. If the applicant could please first introduce yourself if you're speaking and give us an overview of your variance request.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Tom Murphy here. I'm representing the applicants who are Dan and Kristen Georgette, who are also present on the WebEx. Steve Morrison, who apparently was listed on the application, I believe is their builder who filled out the paperwork for them, but the Georgettes are the property owners. They live at 4 Lucy Road. They purchased the house in 2016. The house, and if you haven't been by it, it's a ranch house. Has an addition off the left-hand side of the house. They're just standing at the street looking at the house. The addition was there when the Georgettes purchased the house in 2016. When that addition was built, and I'm not sure exactly when it was, the owners at the time needed a variance. And they did get a variance from the Board of Appeals at that time, allowing them to build that addition within 10 feet of the property line. So the existing house site is sited on the property in accordance with that variance, so that the left side of the house is 10 feet from the property line with the neighbor at 2 Lucy Road. Since purchasing the house in 2016, the Georgettes have recently had a new child. As their family has started to expand, they decided they need some more room. Both Mr. and Mrs. Georgette grew up in Burlington. They lived there their whole lives. They want to continue to live here. They really like the town, obviously. They love their neighborhood, but they do need more space. So rather than trying to sell their house and find a new house to buy, their preference is to renovate their existing house to give them the room that they need. And they've had plans drawn which would essentially put a second floor onto their ranch house. And in doing that, as part of that renovation, the old addition that goes off to the left-hand side of their property, which is roughly about 15, 20 feet in width, is going to be converted to a 1-car garage. And above it will be a master bedroom and a master bath. So that's the construction project that they're proposing. And as you can see by looking at the plot plan, and I assume you've all seen a copy and hopefully have a copy, the front left corner of what will be their garage, as shown on the proposed plan, is going to be 9 feet from the property line. The existing variance allows 10 feet. So basically what they're looking for here is a extension, if you will, of their current variance by another foot. If you look at the way that the house is sited on the lot, it's kind of at an angle. Are we still on?
Yeah.
My screen just went blank. I didn't know whether something was going on. So in any event, the house is kind of, it's not at a 90-degree angle by the street. It's on a tilt, if you will, so that it's only the front corner of this addition that's going to actually encroach into the 10-foot setback. As you go back towards the the back of the house, roughly about 8 feet, you'll get to it where the 10-foot variance line is. If you do the square footage, it's like a triangle, about 1 foot at the base, 8 feet along the side. We're looking at roughly a 4 square foot area that we need the variance for. In going through the criteria required by 40A Section 10, as the board knows, there are 3 things that have to be established in order to obtain a variance. The first is going to show circumstances relating to the soil conditions, shape, or topography of the land or structures that create a substantial hardship, financial or otherwise, which result from literal enforcement of the zoning bylaw. In our case, I would submit to the board that the hardship relates to the structure as required by the statute or as allowed by the statute. Specifically, in this case, the location of the structure on the lot. The current house is sited in such a way that for them to renovate their property as they want to do and as their plans show, they can't do it without getting this variance because the front left corner of the house will extend by a foot into the setback area. The second thing that has to be established is that granting the variance will not create a substantial detriment to the public good. I would submit again that the encroachment here is de minimis. The entire street has signed a letter in support of the variance, including the abutter to the immediate left at 2 Lucy Road. In granting the variance will allow a young couple who were raised in Burlington to continue to live here, raise their family. So I would submit clearly is no detriment to the public good. I would argue that that's a benefit to the public good. If there was some issue to the public good, I would submit that the neighbors would not be in favor of this, and that's not the case here. And lastly, the relief must be able to be given without nullifying or substantially derogating from the intent and the purposes of the zoning bylaw. Setback bylaw, I would submit are in place to ensure a certain amount of spacing between houses, make sure people have a little bit of privacy. That's the intent of this bylaw. In the current situation, as I said, we've got a small corner of the house with about a 1 foot encroachment. I would submit that that certainly is not a substantial derogation of the bylaw. Again, I mentioned that the immediate neighbor is fine with it. He has no problem with it. And I'd also point out that the neighbor's house is more than 20 feet from this property line. So even with the 1 foot encroachment, there is still the minimum amount of area between the 2 houses that's mandated by the bylaws. So in closing, Mr. Chairman, I would just reinforce that we have a young couple with a young child who want to stay in town, who want to improve their house, who are willing to make that commitment financially. And all they need is a small variance to allow their project to go forward. I would submit that all of the criteria required by Chapter 48, Section 10 are present. I'm happy to answer any questions. Mr. and Mrs. Georgetta here, they're happy to answer any questions. But at the end of the meeting, we hope that the board will look favorably on this request and vote to grant the variance. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Before we get to comments from the board, I'm just going to read into the record the letter that was mentioned, that was signed off and who signed off. To the Burlington Board of Appeals, this letter is to inform you that we have gotten the approval from the neighbors surrounding our home that they are in favor of the addition of 4 Lucy Road. This is for the variance to Article 5, Section 5.2.9 to add a second level addition with a 1-car garage. The proposed addition to be 9 feet at the left side of the house, and the Burlington zoning bylaw requires 15 feet. The existing foundation, which was approved by the town in 1989, is already in use. We are asking for an additional foot for the garage, which must be built on the left side of the house to coincide with the layout of the first level. And this was signed by the neighbors at 1 Lucy Road, 2 Lucy Road, 3 Lucy Road, 5 Lucy Road, 6 Lucy Road, and 14 Ellen Road. All right, let's take comments from the board. Jim, why don't we start with you?
Sure, thanks, Mike. No, I don't have any issue with this. I drove by, I think the style, what they're proposing is in the spirit of, there's other, other houses in the neighborhood. And I agree with Tom, it's the way the house is situated on the lot, I think justifies a hardship, so I don't have any questions, though.
Okay. Mark, were you able to get online? I know he was having trouble.
Yeah, no, I'm able to communicate by phone. I have no questions.
Okay. All right, John?
No, I'm good with this one.
Okay. Adam?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, like everyone said, I'm good with this. No questions at the time.
Okay. Joe?
Yes, I'm fine with this. It has no impact, that front left corner on the neighbor, and the proposed construction fits well with the neighborhood.
Okay. I also don't have any issues with this, so I don't need to really belabor the same point. This is a public hearing, so I'm going to open it up to the public. If there is anyone on the call that would like to speak in favor or against this, if you could please just introduce yourself, say who's speaking, and then let us know what you have to say on this proposal. All right, I'm just gonna give it a little bit more. I think last time there were a couple people that had trouble. And Joellen, you're watching the Facebook feed, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I don't think we have any comments from the public. We can take a motion to close.
Motion to close public hearing?
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Motion is made and seconded to close the hearing. Roll call. Jim?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Adam?
Aye.
And myself, aye. All right. And would anyone like to make a motion on this petition?
Make a motion to approve 4 Lucy Road as advertised. According to. What's that?
I was just going to mention that we should probably reference the site plan, the plot plan.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking for.
Yeah, all right.
The site plans dated April 22nd, 2020, as well as the plot plan dated May 12th, 2020.
Okay, the motion has been made. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, motion is made and seconded. Roll call vote. Jim?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Adam?
Aye.
And myself, aye. All right, you're all set. Your variance has been approved.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thanks to members of the board.
Thank you.
Thank you. everyone.
Thank you.
All right, so the next thing on our agenda is just the minutes from our meeting of June 2nd. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes?
Yes.
We can take a motion unless anyone has comments.
Make a motion.
To approve.
Second.
All right, motion is made and seconded to approve the minutes of June 2nd, 2020. Roll call. Jim?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Adam?
Aye.
And myself, aye. Joe, I would just say probably abstain, I guess.
Abstained?
All right. And unless anyone else has new business, we can take a motion to adjourn.
Adjourn.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded to adjourn. Roll call. Jim,
I think he's gone.
no, he was muted.
No.
Jim, vote on to adjourn.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Mark,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Adam,
Aye.
Joe,
Aye.
and myself, aye. All right, meeting adjourned. That was pretty
Thank you
straightforward.
for coming.
All right, thanks.
Thank-
I'll try to be in touch prior to the next meeting to make sure there'll be enough members. But if you guys have enough members, I'll probably just skip that one, seeing I'll be on vacation. It will still be virtual at that point, so I can jump on if I'm needed.